Talking about the hook, it's one of the more complicated punches. A lot of people have different ways of throwing it. This is what I've kind of developed for myself over the years. If I'm throwing a lone hook, a lead hook on itself, I'm going to want to start it up. It's going to be tough to generate much power here, so I'm going to turn my right shoulder as if I'm slipping a punch or maybe feinting the right hand. So I'm going to turn just slightly to load this shoulder up, and I'm going to start in a straight line, but then I turn it over. And you'll notice my lead foot's not pivoting. A lot of boxing instructors will teach to pivot, and there's a time and place for that. But what I want to do, especially for kickboxing and Muay Thai, is throw a nice long hook to possibly set up for some kicks or knees. So I want to make sure I load it, and when I throw it, I only go slightly past my opponent's chin. I don't want to go too far. One more time, I'm going to load the hook, I'm going to throw it out. Again, you'll notice I'm aiming with my top two knuckles, and I'm turning my elbow at that last bit of space. I don't want to start here. I want to turn, throw it straight, then curve it at the last bit of space.
All right, guys, as you saw, Rich just showed how he likes to throw the hook. I just want to give you a couple of different ways I like to throw it. The most important thing I want everyone to remember, though, is we're throwing this hook for kickboxing. This is a kickboxing series, so the way we throw it might not be the way you learned. It's not the same as a boxing hook. As Rich showed, we rotate with our back leg, and it can be difficult to learn. For purposes of this video, though, I want to talk about the hand a little bit more. So when I throw the hook, I have two different ways I like to do it, and it all depends on how far we are away from our opponent. The first one, which some trainers will only show, is what I like to call a coffee mug hook, and it looks like I'm holding a coffee mug. All right, my palm is facing me, and the back of my fist is facing my opponent. I like to throw this hook when I'm nice and tight. All right. Another thing is with all of our hooks, all of our punches, we want to have the elbow supporting the impact. Okay. I don't want to throw a hook with my elbow below my target because there's nothing behind it to support. So when we throw that coffee mug hook, I like to bring my elbow up behind, and as I rotate that back foot, everything comes together. All right, I don't want to overthrow my punches. The second way I like to throw the hook depends on if I'm throwing it long. And the further away my opponent is, now my hook becomes less of a coffee mug. The further away I get, the more I start to rotate it over. Now you might say that looks less like a hook and more like a straight punch. However, there is a reason we are throwing it long and turning it over. It's not coming straight out at our opponent. We are still trying to knock the same target, the side of the chin, the temple, things like that. But the reason I like to turn it over is so that I still hit with my front two knuckles. Okay? I don't want to hit with the weak knuckles, the pinky and the ring finger, because there's nothing behind it to support. So what I do, the longer I get away, the more I stretch out and I rotate. My elbow is still behind my point of impact, and I'm supported and hitting with the front two knuckles, which are much stronger. All right? A lot of info to throw at you guys for a basic video, but it's just important to note that if you're learning from somebody, they might show you one way and tell you one is wrong, and vice versa. They are both correct, they both have their places, and you have to find out what works best for you.